All right, so we're gonna be discussing Superman. Okay, just kidding. As a young guy, who am I to say that I know what masculinity is? I know what being a man is. And I think this video is not to tell you what a man is and what is right or what is wrong, but rather just to open up a discussion about, how we express ourselves, about what makes us unique as men, as guys. And I'm gonna base this off of my story, the work I've, put into learning about myself and what I think a man is and the man I'm aspiring to be. So this is more so to help guide anyone along that journey that's maybe questioning who they want to become, what kind of man they want to become. An amazing book on masculinity and the archetypes of masculinity is The King, the Warrior, the Magician, the Lover by Robert Moore. A premise I really like, and I've been told about this book for many months, if not over a year, by many of the men around me, is that there's a difference between boy and man psychology. And I was really interested in understanding what parts of me are maybe still at that boy stage and how I can address that and bring awareness to them and then work on them so they're not holding me back and serving to protect my ego and the less developed parts of myself, but rather how I can move from that boy to that man psychology and live a more fulfilling life. To keep it short, this is not a whole video about this book. There are 4 types of the masculine archetype. The king energy is that which brings order, which has direction, which grows your life, grows the life of those around you. The warrior, in essence, is the man who gets things done, who can push through hardship, who's disciplined, who makes the sacrifices necessary to reach the desired outcome. The magician is the intellect, the one who can see beyond the simplicity in life, who is skilled in his craft, who uses his understanding of people and technology and his skills to create a certain outcome. And lastly is the lover. It's not just in relationship to women, but living and loving life fully, experiencing the beauties of whether that is taking in nature around you, the music, finding enjoyment in loving life. You need all 4 parts of these to have direction, to actually take action, to have the required skills necessary to understand and be skilled in today's modern world. And lastly, to enjoy life, right? To be able to be in relationship with other people. You need all those 4 archetypes in order to live, in my opinion, a healthy, fruitful, fulfilling life. All right, enough about the grandiose ideology. Where do we stand? Where do I stand? Well, interestingly, I've been working on an AI tool to help myself and others understand where we are in this journey. And for me, it actually said that I am transitioning from a boy to a man psychologically, and that there are still gaps and there are areas I'm stronger at. And so, to share that, I'm a lot higher in that lover category. I enjoy life. I think I'm empathetic. I can understand and sit with others. I can give my presence. I can enjoy the little things in life. I've been practicing what I called old man maxing, where I just sit at a park, no phone, maybe a coffee in hand, and just people watch and just take in my surroundings, if it's a nice day. And so I'm pretty good at now living life. That's awesome. But you can't forget that we need to also put our foot down and get shit done when it needs to be done. And so I need to really get more serious with my warrior side of me. And what am I trying to accomplish? And what do I need to do and get it done? Right? Set out that plan, get to work, stop procrastinating, stop dilly-dallying. You need a healthy balance of all. And of course, you're never gonna be perfect in any moment, in any given moment in all 4 areas. But we need to find homeostasis. Sometimes we're more one way than the other. Sometimes we're going to be more about bringing order into our lives than we are about enjoying life, right? More into that king energy than more lowering that lover energy. And it fluctuates. And so we want to find that healthy balance, that harmonization where we are progressing in life and we are not dysregulated, right? And in the grand scheme of things, we're progressing in all four of them, though at different paces at different times. What are characteristics of a man that I look highly upon and that I value? Well, to me, a man is someone that does what's necessary for the greater good. And I don't mean that in some arbitrary, grandiose ideology. I just mean that in the simple sense that you know what's right for the things that matter to you. So for me, that would be those around me, right? My family, my close friends, right? I do what's right for them. I don't neglect them. But I also don't ignore myself and my priorities. And I try to find that balance, to be true to myself, but also to be, in relation with others. I think a strong man, is one who can regulate his emotions. Specifically in times where you as a guy, you're annoyed, you're angry, maybe you're lonely, you're sad, you're distracted, to not allow these emotions to overwhelm you, to see them, acknowledge them, okay, great. And what are you gonna do about it? Are you gonna let them control you? Are you gonna act out of what you believe, act out of your character, act out of alignment? Or are you gonna regulate yourself, do what you have to do to get back to that place and respond accordingly? Get back to that place of, you maybe heard this a lot if you're into the self-development, whatever you want to call it, manosphere, you name it. If you're into that kind of stuff, you'll hear groundedness. What does that look like? It looks like your girlfriend's complaining about things, and instead of firing back with your complaints of her or defense of yourself, to take a deep breath and to give love and to see through her annoyance or her anger towards you into the root cause and to fill that with love and understanding. Right? So practically, what would that look like, right? For me, that would be, I hear a complaint, I feel some tension and I'm not responding. I'm not getting snappy back. I'm not, defensive or trying to go on the offensive. But I'm just holding space. I'm gonna set boundaries if need be, right? Maybe there are certain lines that I will not tolerate and I'll hold those. But I don't need to be aggressive. I don't need to dominate. I just need to bring back that peace and stability and order. And if you can think of which archetype that is, that'd be that king energy, right? That order, that balance, keeping things moving, keeping things in alignment, right? A masculine man gets the things done that he wants to do, that he says he wants to do. A man shouldn't have goals that really matter to him and then not act on them, not plan accordingly, right? That's lacking warrior energy, I would call it, right? A lot of people have lofty goals and ideals, but they have no structure, they have no framework around achieving them. They have no internal accountability. And I see that as a boy psychology where you might say you want to get tons of things done, you might want to accomplish X, Y, and Z, but then you make very little effort, or you make lots of effort for a week and you give up. And I think that slow, steady, boring commitment is extremely masculine to achieving a bigger outcome, bigger goal. I think a masculine man is very knowledgeable, very skilled, and he uses that to further his aims. And lastly, a man doesn't forget to connect and love those around him. and feel the enjoyment of life, to feel excited in the small things. I think, what are we living life for? What are we doing it all for? For me, it's to love the life I live, to wake up happy, excited, motivated, proud, to wake up and move towards a higher purpose, a higher goal. And I want to enjoy the journey. I want to be able to stay present with people. And I don't want to just give advice to make myself seem the most knowledgeable. I want to really be present. And I want to enjoy the little things in life, right? I love having a cup of coffee in the morning and reading a book before I go to work. And I wake up pretty early and I get to work pretty early. But that's that little moment where that's 15 to 30 minutes is precious to me. Simple things like that really set my day positively. And you combine those all together, and to me, that's a pretty admirable man. I'd be inspired to be that kind of guy that does all those things, that lives life that way, that has a direction, that acts towards that direction consistently, even when it's not sexy, gets it done, moves the needle. And someone that is extremely skilled, not taking advantage of others, is able to get the outcome he wants through whether that's strength physically or mentally, while staying in alignment, and then enjoying the whole process that is our short lives, right? So to me, that is what a man is. And so I hope that this video helps to spark your brain to think, yes, but then to take action in the areas that are lacking. Thanks for listening.